Good morning, children. This is Sunita CHATTA, and I welcome you all to today's online learning class. Children, today we will study about respiration in organisms, and this is chapter 10 of your science book. Why do we respire? We respire to get energy from the food. Food contains stored energy. When we respire, the food is broken down in the cells of our body with the help of oxygen and energy is released. So, children, we respire so that the food that we eat is broken down as respiration takes place within the cells of our body. So, we need oxygen to break down that oxygen so that we can get the energy. Now respiration, children, respiration broadly speaking is the process by which food or glucose is broken down in the cells of the body with the help of oxygen to release energy. Since respiration takes place in the cells of the body, it is called as cellular respiration. So now the question is, what is cellular respiration? Respiration that takes place inside the cells of our body is called as cellular respiration. Now you can see in this slide, here the glucose, which is the food plus oxygen from the air, this mixes and gives out carbon dioxide plus water plus energy. So this is the cellular respiration. Now coming to types of respiration. Children, there are two types of respiration. They are aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration. Aerobic respiration, children, means this is a type of respiration in which glucose is broken down in the presence of oxygen to release carbon dioxide, water, and energy. It takes place in most organisms. So, aerobic respiration simply means respiration that takes place in presence of oxygen. So here glucose is broken down in presence of oxygen inside the cells of our body to release carbon dioxide plus water plus energy. Then second type of respiration is anaerobic respiration. So this type of respiration is in which glucose is broken down in the absence of oxygen to release alcohol, carbon dioxide and energy. It takes place in yeast. So, an aerobic respiration simply means the respiration in which oxygen is not needed. For example, glucose is broken down in absence of oxygen to produce alcohol, carbon dioxide plus energy, and this generally takes place in yeast. In addition, an aerobic respiration takes place in humans also. That is, in an aerobic respiration in our muscles, cells, glucose is broken down in the absence of oxygen to release lactic acid and energy. So, children, when this happens when we breathe very fast, or when we run, or when we move very fast, or when we do jogging or brisk exercises. That time we may not get sufficient oxygen and we breathe anaerobically. So, that time glucose is broken down in absence of oxygen and it produces lactic acid and energy. That is why, children, we develop cramps in our leg muscles while doing heavy exercises, or while running, or while moving very fast, because that time we breathe anaerobically, that is in absence of oxygen. Then breathing. Children, breathing is the process by which oxygen rich air is taken in and carbon dioxide rich air is given out with the help of the respiratory organ. So, the taking in of air rich in oxygen is called inhalation, and the giving out of air rich in carbon dioxide is called as exhalation. So, breathing is a physical process, and respiration is a chemical process. Now, breathing rate, the number of times a person breathes in a minute is called as breathing rate. That is, number of breaths per minute. When a person needs more energy, he or she breathes faster. More oxygen is supplied to the cells, more food is broken down, and more energy is released. This you can see in my slide also. Then, how do we breathe? Children, the respiratory system helps in breathing. The main parts of the respiratory system are nostrils, nasal cavity, windpipe, lungs, and diaphragm. Breathing involves the rib cage and a muscular sheet below the chest cavity called diaphragm. During inhalation, that is breathing in, the chest cavity increases in size and the diaphragm moves down, and air into the lungs moves in. During exhalation, that is breathing out, the chest cavity reduces in size and the diaphragm moves up and the air is pushed out of the lungs. Rest regarding the human respiratory system. Children, we will study about this in next video. Thank you, children.